I sit at the kitchen table waiting for Daniel to come home. The clock ticks loudly in the quiet room. I can smell the dinner I made, spaghetti, his favorite. I smile, hoping he will smile too when he comes in and sees what I made for him. I have been looking forward to this all day. Finally, I hear the sound of his keys at the door. I get up, ready to greet him with a hug and a kiss. But when he walks in, something feels different. Daniel looks tired, almost distant. He puts his bag down, gives me a quick nod, and heads straight to the bathroom without a word. I sit back down, feeling a small knot in my stomach. Usually, he comes in with a big smile, telling me about his day, asking about mine. But tonight, there is silence. I try to shake it off, thinking maybe he just had a hard day at work. After a few minutes, Daniel comes back and sits at the table. I smile at him and say, "I made spaghetti tonight, your favorite." He looks at the plate and says, "Thanks," in a soft, quiet voice. That's it. Just thanks. No smile. No, it smells great. Just one word, and then silence again. We sit and eat together, but it feels like we are miles apart. I want to ask him about his day, but something holds me back. I don't want to bother him if he's in a bad mood. Maybe he will talk to me when he's ready, I think to myself. After dinner, Daniel picks up his plate, gives me another quick nod, and walks to the bedroom. I am left alone at the table, staring at the empty plates. My heart feels heavy, like there is a weight pressing down on it. I wash the dishes slowly, thinking, trying to understand what just happened. Did I do something wrong? Did I say something that upset him? But I can't think of anything. The next morning, I wake up hoping that things will be back to normal. But at breakfast, Daniel is quiet again. He eats his toast and drinks his coffee without a word. I try to start a conversation. "How did you sleep?" I ask, smiling. He looks up, nods and says, "Fine." Then he goes back to his coffee. No more words. Just fine. I feel my smile fade. It's like he has built a wall between us overnight, and I can't find a way to reach him. The day passes slowly. I clean the house, make a list for groceries, and try to keep busy. But my mind keeps going back to him, to his silence, to that wall I can't break. In the evening, I prepare dinner again, hoping maybe tonight will be different. Maybe he will come home with that familiar smile, and we will talk like we used to. But when he walks in, he looks the same as last night. Distant, quiet. He sits at the table, eats, and leaves without a word. After he goes to bed, I sit alone in the living room, my mind filled with questions. Is he tired of me? Is he bored? I try to think of what I could change, what I could do to make him happy again. Maybe I need to make more of an effort. Maybe I need to be more interesting, more fun. I decide to try harder, to do whatever it takes to bring back the man I love. The next day, I get up early and decide to cook something special for dinner. I go to the store, buy all the ingredients for his favorite dishes, and spend the afternoon cooking and setting up a nice table. I even put on my best dress, the one he always liked. I hope this will show him how much I care. When he comes home, I greet him with a big smile. "I made a special dinner for us," I say, trying to sound cheerful. He looks at the table, nods and says, "Looks nice." But his face stays blank, his eyes tired and distant. We eat in silence again, my heart breaking a little more with each passing minute. I try asking about his day, but he just gives me short answers. "It was okay," he says, or "just busy." No details, no stories, nothing like before. Feels like he is here in body, but his mind is somewhere far away. I feel invisible, like I am sitting alone at the table even though he is right there. After dinner, he goes to his study, closing the door behind him. I stand in the hallway, staring at the closed door, feeling shut out. I want to knock, to go in and ask him what's wrong, but I am afraid of what he might say. What if he tells me he doesn't love me anymore? What if he tells me he wants to leave? The days go by, each one feeling colder and lonelier. I try harder every day to bring him back. I change my hairstyle, wear different clothes, try to talk about things he likes. But no matter what I do, he stays the same. Quiet, distant, like a shadow of the man I once knew. One evening, as I clean up after dinner, I see a notebook on his desk. It looks like he has been writing something in it, and for a moment, I feel a spark of hope. Maybe he is working on something important. Maybe that is why he's been so distant. But then, I see a name written on the cover. Amelia. The name sends a chill through me. I have never heard him mention an Amelia before. My mind races with questions. Is Amelia someone new? Is she someone he thinks about? Someone he sees when he is away? I sit down, holding the notebook, my hands shaking. I don't want to open it, but I feel like I need to know. I need to understand what is happening, why he is drifting away from me. But just as I open the notebook, I hear him coming down the hall. Quickly, I put it back where I found it and step away from the desk. My heart pounds as he enters the room, glancing at me with that same blank expression. Is everything okay? He asks, his voice calm, almost distant. I nod, forcing a smile. Yes, everything's fine. I say, my voice trembling. But inside, I know everything is not fine. Everything feels broken, and I don't know how to fix it. I wake up the next day feeling heavy and tired. My mind is still full of questions about that notebook and the name Amelia. Who is she? Why is he writing about her? But I am too afraid to ask. I don't want him to think I am spying on him, or worse, to find out something I don't want to know. So I decide to focus on myself. Maybe if I change, he will come back to me. I start with little things. I wear different clothes, try new hairstyles, even put on more makeup. I try to be more cheerful and fun, even if I don't feel that way inside. I tell myself that if I make myself better, maybe he will notice me again. At breakfast, I smile and ask him about his plans for the day. He just nods and says, the usual, and goes back to his coffee. My heart sinks, but I keep smiling. I don't want him to see how sad I feel. I think maybe he needs more time. I just need to be patient. That evening, I decide to make a special dinner again. I cook his favorite meal just like before and set the table nicely. When he walks in, I greet him with a big smile and say, welcome home. I made your favorite. He looks at the table, nods and says, thank you. But his face stays blank, like he doesn't really see me or the effort I put into the meal. We eat in silence. I try to start a conversation, asking him simple questions, but his answers are short. How was work? I ask, hoping he will tell me something, anything to feel connected again. It was okay, he says, taking another bite. No details, no smile. Just, okay. My heart feels like it's breaking piece by piece, but I keep my face calm. I don't want him to see how much his silence is hurting me. After dinner, he goes to his study, closing the door behind him like he always does now. I stand alone in the kitchen, looking at the empty table. I feel so alone, like I am the only person in the world. I start to wonder if this is my fault. Maybe I am not interesting enough. Maybe I am not a good wife. I tell myself I need to try harder. I need to be someone he can love again. Over the next few days, I keep trying. I wear different clothes every day, clothes that I think he might like. I try cooking new recipes, thinking maybe he just needs a change. I even start watching the shows he likes, hoping we can talk about them, hoping we can find something to connect over. But each time, his reaction is the same. Quiet, distant. A nod or a thanks and nothing more. My heart feels heavy all the time now, but I keep trying. I don't want to give up. I love him, and I want to bring him back, to make him see me again. But no matter what I do, he stays the same. It's like I am invisible, like I am talking to a wall. One evening, I try something different. I sit on the couch, waiting for him to come out of his study. I think maybe if I am there, he will sit with me, and we can watch TV together like we used to. When he finally comes out, I smile and pat the seat next to me. Do you want to watch something together? I ask, hoping he will say yes, but he just shakes his head. I'm tired, he says softly. I think I'll just go to bed. He walks past me without another word, leaving me alone on the couch, my smile fading. I feel my eyes fill with tears, but I don't cry. I just sit there, feeling empty and alone. I start to wonder if I am fighting a battle I cannot win. Maybe he doesn't want me anymore. Maybe he is too far away. and I am only hurting myself by trying to hold on. I feel so lost, not knowing what to do. Every night, I sit alone in the living room, thinking, hoping, but nothing changes. One day, I am cleaning the house when I see the notebook again. It's sitting on his desk, with Amelia written on the cover. My heart pounds as I look at it, my hands shaking. I feel a strong urge to open it, to find out who this Amelia is. But I am too afraid. I don't know if I am ready to know the truth. Instead, I sit down and take a deep breath. I know I can't keep going like this. I need to talk to him, to ask him what's wrong, even if I am afraid of the answer. I need to know if he still loves me, if there is still hope for us. But every time I think about asking him, my fear grows stronger. What if he tells me he doesn't love me anymore? What if he says he wants to leave? The next night, I make up my mind. I will talk to him no matter what. I need to know the truth. I sit at the kitchen table, waiting for him to come home, my heart pounding. But when he walks in, he looks more tired than ever. His eyes are heavy, and he barely notices me sitting there. He gives me a quick nod, says, "Good night," and heads to the bedroom. My courage fades and I stay silent. I let him walk away, and I stay there alone in the kitchen, feeling defeated. I am back to square one, filled with questions and fears. But deep down, I know I can't keep living like this. I need to know what is going on. I need to know if we still have a chance. As I sit in the dark, I tell myself that tomorrow will be different. Tomorrow I will find the courage to ask him. Tomorrow I will find out the truth. The next day I feel nervous but also determined. I can't keep pretending everything is fine. I need answers even if they hurt. I go about my day trying to stay busy, but my mind keeps going back to the notebook, to that name, Amelia. I wonder who she is and why he writes about her. I keep thinking that maybe tonight, I'll finally have the courage to ask him. Evening comes, and I prepare a simple dinner, not bothering to make anything special this time. I set the table and sit down, waiting for Daniel to come home. My heart is racing. I keep going over what I will say, how I will ask him. I tell myself that I just need to say it, to look him in the eye and ask about Amelia. When Daniel walks in, he looks just as distant as before, maybe even more so. He gives me a quick nod, then sits down at the table without a word. We eat in silence again, but this time, I can't hold it in any longer. The questions are burning inside me, and I know I can't keep pretending. After a few bites, I put down my fork, take a deep breath, and look at him. "Daniel," I say, my voice shaking a little. "Who is Amelia?" He stops eating and looks up, surprised. His eyes widen for a moment, and I see something. Maybe shock, maybe fear. He opens his mouth to speak, but no words come out. He just stares at me, and I feel my heart pounding in my chest. "Please," I say softly. "I just need to know. I found her notebook, and I saw her name. You keep writing about her, but you never told me." My voice trembles, but I keep going. Is she someone else? Someone important?" Daniel sighs and looks down at his hands. For a moment, I am sure he's going to tell me the worst, that he loves someone else, that I was right to be afraid. But then he takes a deep breath and looks up at me, his face softening. "Alice," he says, his voice quiet. "Amelia is not. She's not a person." He pauses, searching for the right words. "Amelia is a character. She's the main character in my novel. I've been working on it for a while now. I didn't tell you because I was afraid." I stare at him, feeling a mix of emotions, relief, confusion, and a little bit of anger. "Your novel," I repeat, trying to understand. "So, there's no other woman?" He shakes his head. "No, there's no other woman," he says softly. "Amelia is just a character I created. She's someone I imagined. I've been writing her story, and it's been taking up a lot of my time, my thoughts." I feel the weight in my chest start to lift, but there is still something that hurts. "Why didn't you tell me?" I ask, my voice filled with sadness. "Why did you keep it a secret?" I thought maybe you didn't love me anymore." Daniel looks down, ashamed. I'm sorry, Alice, he says. I didn't mean to hurt you. I was just nervous. Writing is new to me, and I didn't know if it was any good. I didn't want to disappoint you if it turned out to be nothing. I take a deep breath, feeling the sadness and the relief mixing inside me. You don't have to be perfect for me, I say softly. I just wanted to be close to you. I missed you, Daniel. I felt like you were a stranger these past weeks. Like you were someone else. He reaches across the table and takes my hand, squeezing it gently. I know, he says. I'm so sorry, Alice. I was so wrapped up in my own fears that I forgot to talk to you, to share with you. I thought I was protecting myself, but I didn't see how it was hurting you. We sit there in silence for a moment, holding hands, letting the words sink in. I feel a tear slip down my cheek, and I quickly wipe it away, feeling a strange mix of relief and hurt. I am glad he isn't in love with someone else, but I still feel sad that he didn't trust me enough to tell me. Can you tell me about her? I ask quietly. About Amelia? Daniel nods, a small smile forming on his face. Amelia is, well, she's strong and kind. She has dreams and hopes, but she's also scared to follow them. She's a bit like you, actually, he says, looking at me with warmth in his eyes. I think I based her on you without even realizing it. I feel a warmth in my chest as I listen to him talk about his character, about his story. It feels like he's letting me back into his world, little by little, and I am grateful for it. I realize that he wasn't pushing me away because he stopped loving me. He was just afraid, just like I was. We talk for a while, and I listen as he tells me about the plot of his story, about Amelia's journey, her struggles, her dreams. I see his face light up as he talks, and I realize how much this story means to him. I feel a new understanding between us, like we are starting fresh. When he finishes, he looks at me with a soft smile. I'm sorry, Alice, he says again. I should have told you from the start. I should have trusted you. I smile back, feeling the last bit of hurt melt away. It's okay, I say. I understand now. Just promise me that you won't keep secrets like this again. I want to be a part of your world, Daniel, even if it's scary. He nods, squeezing my hand. I promise, he says softly. As we sit together, holding hands, I feel the silence that once filled our home fade away. The weight in my heart lifts, and I feel a new closeness, a new bond forming between us. I know things will not always be easy, but at least now we are facing them together. In that moment, I realize that love is not just about being together, but about sharing our fears, our dreams, and our secrets. And as long as we have that, I know we can face anything. We sit there in the quiet, just holding hands, and for the first time in weeks, I feel truly happy. The days after our talk feel like a fresh start. Daniel and I are closer, and I finally feel like I understand him better. I see his passion for writing now, and it makes me smile to think of him working on his story. It's strange how something that made me feel so alone now makes me feel close to him again. One evening, Daniel comes home looking more relaxed than usual. He even smiles at me, a real smile, the kind that I remember from before. It makes my heart feel light, and I feel the last bit of worry fading away. We eat dinner together, and this time he tells me about his day, about a funny thing his coworker said. I laugh, happy to hear his voice, to see his face light up. After dinner, he doesn't go straight to his study. Instead, he sits with me on the couch. Alice, he says, looking a bit shy. I was thinking, I'd like to share my story with you. Would you like to read it? I feel a warm excitement rise inside me. This is what I wanted, to be a part of his world. Yes, I'd love to, I say, smiling. He hands me the notebook, the same one that caused me so much worry before. Now it feels like a gift, something precious that he's sharing with me. I open it carefully and start to read. The story is about Amelia, a woman with dreams, but also with fears. She wants to travel, to explore, but she feels held back, scared of failing. As I read, I see pieces of myself in Amelia, and I realize why Daniel kept comparing her to me. She's strong but also vulnerable. She wants to do great things but worries about what others will think. I feel a connection to her, as if she is a friend, someone I want to cheer for, to see happy. When I finish reading, I look up at Daniel. She's amazing, I say, feeling a bit emotional. She's real. I feel like I know her. Daniel smiles, his face filled with pride. Thank you, he says softly. Hearing you say that, it means a lot to me. Over the next few days, Daniel continues to write, but now he shares more with me. He tells me about Amelia's journey, her challenges, her fears. I listen, giving him my thoughts, my support. I feel like we are a team, working together on something special. The silence that once filled our home is now gone, replaced by laughter, conversation, and the sound of pages turning. One night, while we're sitting together on the couch, Daniel looks at me with a serious expression. Alice, he says, I need to say something. I know I made you feel alone, and I am really sorry for that. I want to promise you that I will always talk to you, even when I'm afraid. I feel my heart swell with warmth. I place my hand on his and smile. Thank you, Daniel, I say softly. I just wanted to feel close to you again, to be a part of your life. He nods, squeezing my hand. You are a part of it, Alice. A big part. We sit together in silence, but this time it's a comfortable silence. I feel happy, truly happy, to be sitting beside him, to feel connected again. It's like the distance between us has disappeared, and I finally feel at peace. Over the following weeks, Daniel finishes his novel. Every time he writes a new chapter, he lets me read it, and we talk about the characters, about the story, about Amelia's journey. I feel proud of him, of his dedication and his passion. It's amazing to see him follow his dream, and I feel lucky to be by his side, cheering him on. When he finishes the final chapter, we celebrate with a special dinner at home. I make his favorite meal and we laugh, talk, and share stories. There is no distance between us now, only love and understanding. I feel like we have grown, like our bond has become stronger through this journey. One evening, Daniel surprises me with a question. Alice, would you like to go on a trip with me? I feel like we both need a break, a chance to explore together. I feel a rush of excitement. Yes, I say, smiling. I would love that. We start planning our trip together, talking about places we want to see, things we want to do. It feels like a new adventure, a fresh start for both of us. I realize that, just like Amelia, I have dreams too. I want to explore, to see new places, to make new memories with Daniel. When the day of our trip finally arrives, we pack our bags, full of excitement. As we sit together on the plane, I feel grateful for this journey, for the love that we found again, and for the courage we had to face our fears. I know that life will always bring challenges, but I also know that as long as we are together, we can face anything. We hold hands as the plane takes off, ready for whatever comes next, knowing that love and understanding will guide us through. The day of our trip feels like a new beginning. Daniel and I wake up early, our bags packed and ready by the door. There is a lightness in the air, and I feel the excitement buzzing between us. It's been a long time since we felt this close, and I can't stop smiling. We are about to start an adventure together, and it feels like we are young and free, ready to explore the world. As we drive to the airport, we talk and laugh, sharing stories and dreams. Daniel tells me about places he wants to see, and I feel the same excitement I did when we first met. It's as if we are discovering each other all over again, and I feel grateful to have this chance, to be by his side on this journey. For the first time in a long time, I feel like we are not just husband and wife, but best friends, ready to face anything together. When we get on the plane, Daniel holds my hand, and I look out the window, watching the city disappear below us. It feels like we are leaving behind all the worries and doubts, starting fresh in a new place, with new hopes and dreams. I turn to Daniel and smile, feeling a deep sense of peace. I know now that we are strong, that our love can survive even the hardest times. The plane lands, and soon we are stepping into a new world. The air smells different, and the sights and sounds feel exciting and new. We arrive at our hotel, check in, and unpack, our energy high and spirits lifted. After resting a bit, we decide to explore the town. As we walk through the streets, I feel a warmth in my heart. We stop at small shops, try local food, and take photos together, laughing at each silly pose. It feels like we're building new memories, filling our lives with joy and laughter. I feel close to Daniel in a way I haven't felt in a long time, like we're sharing something special. At one point, we find a beautiful park and decide to sit on a bench, just enjoying the view. The trees are tall, and there's a small lake with ducks swimming peacefully. I lean against Daniel, and he wraps his arm around me, holding me close. I'm really glad we did this, I say, my voice soft. I feel like we're finding each other again. Daniel nods, looking at me with a gentle smile. I feel the same, Alice. I was so afraid before, afraid of sharing my dreams, of letting you see all of me. But now I feel free, like I can be myself with you. I reach for his hand, giving it a gentle squeeze. You can always be yourself with me, Daniel. I love all of you, the good and the bad, the dreams and the fears. I'm here always. He looks at me, his eyes filled with warmth. Thank you, Alice, for being patient, for not giving up on me. I know I wasn't easy to be with, but you stayed. We sit there in silence, but it's a peaceful silence. I feel happy, content, just sitting beside him, knowing that we are stronger now. The past feels like a shadow, something that is behind us, and all I can see is the bright future ahead. As the days pass, we continue to explore, visiting museums, trying new foods, and meeting new people. Each day feels like a small gift, a reminder of how much we mean to each other. We talk about our dreams, our hopes, and even our fears. I feel closer to Daniel than ever before, like there are no walls between us, only love and understanding. One evening, we find a cozy restaurant with soft lights and gentle music. We sit by the window, watching the city lights twinkle in the dark. It feels romantic, like a scene from a movie. We talk about everything: our favorite moments from the trip, our plans for the future, and even small things, like what we'll cook when we get back home. At one point, Daniel looks at me with a serious expression. Alice, he says, I want to make a promise to you. I want to promise that I will always be open, that I won't hide my feelings from you again. I feel a lump in my throat, my heart filling with warmth. Thank you, Daniel. That means everything to me. He reaches across the table and takes my hand. I know now that I don't have to be perfect. I just need to be honest, to be myself. And I want you to know, Alice, that I am here for you too. Whatever you need, whatever you feel, I am here. We sit there, holding hands, and I feel tears in my eyes. Not from sadness, but from happiness. I realize that we have found something rare and precious, something worth holding on to. Our love has gone through a storm, but it has come out stronger, deeper. When we get back to the hotel that night, I lie in bed, thinking about everything we've been through. I feel grateful for the chance to grow, to learn, and to love. I realize that love is not just about happy moments, but about facing challenges together, about staying close even when things are hard. As I close my eyes, I feel Daniel's arm around me, holding me close. I know that whatever the future brings, we will face it together. And in that moment, I feel a deep, lasting peace, knowing that our love is strong enough to survive anything. Our trip comes to an end, and as we board the plane to go home, I feel a bit sad to leave. But I also feel excited to start our lives again, to build more memories and keep growing together. Daniel holds my hand during the flight, and we talk about all the things we want to do when we get back. I realize that home is not a place. It's wherever we are together. When we finally arrive home, I feel a sense of comfort, like we are starting fresh in a familiar place. We unpack our bags, talk about our favorite moments, and laugh at the silly pictures we took. Life goes back to normal, but everything feels different, better. Each day we keep our promise to be open, to share, and to support each other. And even though we have challenges, I know that we can face them, because we are a team. Our love is stronger now, something real and true. And so, with each passing day, I feel grateful for Daniel, for our journey, and for the love that holds us together. Back home, life feels peaceful and warm. Daniel and I return to our routine, but it feels new, even exciting. The house feels full of life again, and each day I feel thankful for him. For us, our connection is strong, and I feel his love and attention in everything he does. Every morning we have breakfast together, talking and laughing about little things, and every evening we sit together, sharing our day. I no longer feel alone or afraid. Instead, I feel safe, happy, and loved. One night, we're sitting together in the living room, talking about the trip and all the things we saw. Daniel looks at me with a smile and says, "Alice, thank you for going on this journey with me. I feel like a different person now, more open and strong." I smile back, feeling my heart swell with love. "Thank you, Daniel," I say softly. "I feel the same. We both grew, and I'm proud of us." He takes my hand, holding it gently. "I want us to keep growing, to keep being close, no matter what life brings. I know now that love needs care, honesty, and time." I nod, feeling a deep peace in my heart. We understand each other now, and it feels real, something we can trust and hold on to. We promise to always talk, to always share, and to never let silence come between us again. The days pass and each one feels like a small gift. Our love has a new strength, and I feel it every time he looks at me, every time he shares a story from his day, or asks about mine. I see him writing again, working on new ideas, and he often asks for my thoughts, showing me his work. I feel included, and it brings us closer. One day, Daniel surprises me with a new notebook. "Here," he says, smiling. "This is for you. I thought maybe you'd like to try writing too." I look at the notebook, feeling a bit shy. "Me? Right?" I laugh a little, not sure if I can do it. "Yes," he says, nodding. "You have so many stories to tell, Alice. I see it every time you talk about your dreams, your thoughts. I think you'd be amazing at it." His words fill me with warmth, and I feel a small spark of excitement. Maybe he's right. Maybe I do have stories to tell. I take the notebook, running my fingers over the cover, feeling its smooth surface. I smile, looking at him. "Thank you, Daniel. I think I'll give it a try." Over the next few weeks, I start writing small pieces, simple thoughts and ideas. I write about our journey, about the fears I faced, and the love we found again. Daniel reads my work, encouraging me, telling me that my words are beautiful. His support makes me feel confident, and I begin to write more, enjoying this new way of sharing my feelings. One evening, as we sit together, I show him a new piece I wrote. It's a story about a couple who face a challenge but come out stronger. He reads it carefully, then looks at me, his eyes warm and proud. "Alice, this is beautiful," he says softly. "I feel like I see our story in these words. You have a real talent." I feel a blush on my cheeks, but his words make me feel proud. I never thought I could write, but now I feel like I have found something new, something I enjoy. Writing has become a way for us to connect, to share, and to grow together. As time goes on, we continue to support each other, each of us following our own dreams but always staying close. Daniel keeps working on his writing, and I work on mine. We share our progress, give each other feedback, and cheer each other on. It feels like we are building something strong, something that will last. I realize that love is not only about romance or big moments but also about the small, quiet ones. The mornings we spend talking over coffee, the evenings we sit together, sharing our thoughts, and the times we support each other's dreams. These small moments fill our days with joy and meaning. One night, as we're getting ready for bed, Daniel turns to me and says, "Alice, do you remember how far we've come? From silence to this. A life full of love and understanding." I nod, feeling my heart full of gratitude. "Yes, Daniel, we went through something hard, but it made us stronger. I wouldn't change anything because it brought us here, together in this way." He smiles, pulling me close. "And we'll keep growing, keep learning. That's the beauty of love, isn't it?" "Yes," I say softly, feeling at peace. "That's the beauty of it." As I lie in bed that night, I feel a deep sense of calm, knowing that whatever life brings, we will face it together. Our love is real, steady, and true, something we have built together, brick by brick, moment by moment. And in that thought, I find all the happiness I could ever need.